Welcome back to the Centered on Buffalo podcast. Our guest this week is Bills center Connor McGovern. Fresh off this 2025 season, we'll take a look a little bit back at last year. I really want to dig in on what he saw from offensive coordinator Joe Brady from last year, who's now going to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and maybe give us some confidence heading into this offseason about what Joe can bring to the table. We'll have some fun on this one. Connor's always an incredible guest. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in all season long to take in these podcasts each and every week. It means the world to me. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure in the comments you let us know who you want to see on the podcast in the future. Go Bills.
Hit us up on all social media at The Buffalo Pod.
Let's take a moment to hear from one of our podcast partners, and that's Dan-O's Seasoning. I worked with Dan Oliver, Dan-O himself, to create a bundle just for our listeners. So right now you can get my 6 favorite Dan-O seasonings in a bundle. That's the original, the Chipotle, the crunchy, the primo, the red pepper seasoning, and the spicy. And you can get all those for 15% off if you use the code EWOOD. So check out the link in the show notes or go to danoseasoning.com and get that offer. You will not regret it. Yum, yum, get you some. Connor, welcome back on the podcast, brother.
Thank you for having me, Eric.
Absolutely. How's the body feeling after the season?
You know how it is. Like the first week, the soreness slowly getting out. Week 2 now, starting to lose a little bit more weight. I'm already down to 318, so lost 12 pounds already. Joints are feeling a little bit better, knees are feeling good, so we're in a good spot right now.
So do you let the weight come down and then put it back on as the offseason goes?
Yeah, so like I usually drop 25, 30 pounds.
Wow.
Like, so easily in the offseason. Then through OTAs, start slowly putting on, and then about that month and a half break you have before camp, that's when I start really putting the weight back on.
Yeah, it's easier on the joints if you can do that. You know, some guys can't get it back on, but apparently you know what you're doing. You're a veteran at this this stage of the game.
It's down to a science now.
And the good news about that is whenever, hopefully it's a long, long time from now, but whenever you decide to hang up the cleats, you'll be able to peel off the weight, and then your joints are going to feel good. I'm telling you, for someone who walks around, 245, 250, your joints are still going to be tested for, over 300. And then you roll around at 245, 250, and you're like, wait, I don't have to take ibuprofen, and I don't have to foam roll and stretch. I can just like move around and all this. So you're going to enjoy that stage, but let that come way down the road for you.
I'm excited for that day, but I don't know if I'll ever get below 270 though. I got a large head, so I don't know if I could go below that without looking weird,
Hey, I hear you. How long do you wait until you start weight training again after the season?
So take the first week completely off, and then like slowly over. So I have my own physical therapist, so we do everything, do stuff all the time. So like we started technically in the weight room already this week, but we're not like full lifting. It's just stuff to get the blood flowing, like moving back in the body. Because like if I take multiple weeks off, like I come back really rusty. So I like to stay on top of it. We won't hit like true like getting after in the weight room till like week 4 or 5 of the off season. So still got a little bit more time before that, but right now it's just all about movement and just getting the body moving again.
Yeah, that's always how I was. I didn't want to get so far away from it that I had to like get all the way. I always say it's easier to stay ready than to get ready. And even though you're not, going super hard, I'd never like just taking a full month off of doing that. But some guys can thrive off of doing that, and some guys need it. And so I get that. Everybody's different, but that wasn't my recipe for success.
Yeah, I've learned in the league that so many guys are different. Like, because I'm like, how do you take so long off? But like some people just need to get away, just go take a vacation for a month, and somehow they come back bigger and stronger than they were when they left. I'm like, if I take more than a week off in the weight room, like I feel rusty, I feel slow, sluggish. It's bad.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of taking some time away, are you and the O-lineman going to get away on a trip this offseason?
We're still planning things out. Like, so some guys are still in Buffalo, still trapped because of the snow and everything. I know guys are starting to move away, go back to the house, but we're trying to do something like before OTAs, something a little bit later down the line because some guys have kids on the way. So timing, we're still trying to figure that out.
Gotcha. Yeah, this has been a fertile season of Bills players.
Yes,
a lot of babies going around right now. All right, after the season, it's always tough news when the head coach is let go after the season, and you don't win the Super Bowl, you know it's a possibility. And unfortunately, Sean was let go after this season. Joe Brady, it's just been announced that Joe Brady is going to be the next head coach in Buffalo. A lot of the Bills fans are skeptical, and it was likely going to be that way no matter who they hired. But
Yeah.
with Joe Brady being named the head coach, there is some skepticism. What can you do to give Bills Mafia some confidence in what they're going to get with Joe Brady as head coach?
Yeah, Joe's got big shoes to fill. Like, we know the expectation that everyone has, like including the guys in the locker room that we have for the Buffalo Bills. But Joe will do a great job. He knows what it takes to win. He's been part of great teams before, and just the way he can he's controlled the offense, and now he can control the entire team. He brings like a newer energy into this team, brings new life. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, and you've been with him all the way back to Penn State, right?
Yep. So my true freshman year in 2016, he was a GA there. So that's when we first met 10 years ago now.
What was he like back in the Penn State days?
So it was a little bit different. GAs, they were just the workhorse. He was the guy like trying to figure out what defense schemes they're in, like look at their signs, see what personnel we can match up with. So he was down at the bottom of the totem pole. But just to see him flourish over the years has been awesome to watch.
Yeah, I spent some time around Shane Steichen when he was at Louisville as a GA, and it's interesting because they don't get a whole lot of responsibility at that time, but oftentimes you can see like some leadership quality, some communication skills, some confidence where you're like, this guy's a little different than the rest. I'm assuming Joe Brady was likely similar to that.
Oh yeah. And then they have the balance. They still go to school. They have all this like the amount of time they put into that, and then they have no free time at all. So you just really see how some guys deal with it and some don't. And Joe's one of those guys that was able to deal with it and build a whole career out of it.
Yeah. I'm truly excited for him. And look, this is a decision where the front office knew that they were going to take some pushback from the fans.
Yeah.
And you have to be extremely confident in this decision if you're going to make it, because you never want to, kind of alienate your fan base for a period, but if the wins show up on the field, it'll all go away.
Exactly.
And I'm excited for Joe. And if you have the right guy and you truly feel it, it doesn't matter. I talked to one of our former front office members today, and he said, look, we won a lot of press conferences during my time with the Bills, and we didn't win a lot of games. Don't worry about winning press conference. Worry about winning on the field, and that takes care of everything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's all really matters in the NFL.
Oh, absolutely. So one coach, unfortunately, we know will not be back on Joe Brady's staff is Aaron Cromer, who before Sean was let go and all of that, he made his decision. He was going to step away from the game after this season. So, Coach, this from both of us, but we absolutely love you, and we're excited for this next stage of life, even if we still wish that you were, making an impact on offensive linemen across the league. But just talk about the impact that Aaron Cromer had on your career personally.
Oh, it's been tremendous. Just the 3 years we worked together, he's the true O-line guru,
Mm-hmm.
So like he saw me as a guard, knew I'd be better fit as a center, and just transitioned me back into my old center role, and it was just such a natural fit. And luckily we see the game the same way, so that helped tremendously. But just the way he's able to just coach everyone differently, because he knows all 5 guys can't be coached the same way. Just the little details he switched for coaching me to Dion, to Dave, to Cybo, to Spencer. Like, it's just so fun to watch him just master around and just teach guys differently, and just the way he talks to everyone differently. Like, we're watching film, he's breaking it down. Like, he knows, like, I'm black or white. Like, I won't be told if I'm right or wrong, stuff like that. He knows how to maneuver around Dion, Cybo, like guys that need to be coached differently, need to learn differently. He's over the years just mastered that, and it's so cool to watch.
Yeah, it is, and I'm excited for him. I can't wait to have a beer with him on the beach. But I'll miss seeing him on every week when I'm coming in for the Bills games and all that. I'll miss that, but we'll have some different experiences now as he gets to have a little bit more free time and more family.
Yeah, he gets to be a grandpa now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so there was a bunch of talk about Josh Allen being involved in the interview process and about how guys on the team wouldn't necessarily like that. I was never in a situation like this, so I can't necessarily speak on it from inside the locker room. I can imagine if I played with Josh Allen, I wouldn't have any issues with it. In your experience right now and guys on the team, are guys upset that Josh was involved with the interview process?
Not at all. Everyone in the locker room, I can tell you 100% believes whatever Josh believes in himself, we're all behind it. Like, he is such like the guys have such confidence in him. It's truly amazing. But we all believe everything that he wants, and we all share the same belief. So I think we're all could agree that it's a great hire.
Okay, good deal. Let's take a moment to hear from one of our podcast partners, and that's Nugsacks Premium Bagged Reusable Ice. If you're tired of the melted ice, water-filled coolers, and the constant gas station runs to buy bagged ice for your tailgates, check out Nugsacks Reusable Ice at nugsacks.com. That's Nugsacks.com, and use code Buffalo to receive 10% off your first order. Grab your Nugsacks and chill. All right, so James Cook wins the rushing title this year. What did that mean to the offensive line?
Oh, it's huge. Like, we don't really want personal accolades, that we don't really believe it, but rushing leader, like that's the biggest thing an offensive line we can ever dream of. Like, it's such a great honor. Like, Jimbo is fantastic, like just elite runner. Every time he touches the ball, you don't know if like he's just going to take it 60 yards to the house or whatnot, but just to hang our hats on that too, like we had a part of that. It's just so fun to be part of.
Yeah, you had a big part of it. Now, I understand some of this is scheme, but James Cook also had the most yards in the NFL before contact. So that right there is an O-line stat. Like,
yeah,
if you want to look at stats, and you can give some of the credit to Cromer and Joe Brady scheming this up, but talk about an O-line stat, yards before contact for your running back, and he led the NFL in that. Now, there was other times where James Cook made everybody on offense look good, where it didn't matter if anyone blocked. He took it out the back door, made a corner miss. He takes it to the house. He does some Jimbo things where, there could be no blockers. It's him finding the one-on-one on the edge. But then, the
first one that comes to mind is that Cleveland. I remember I kicked the guy out. I'm like, oh, like it was one of those where I see the Mike linebacker sitting there. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. I'm kicking out the end. And next thing I know, he's cutting it back, and 40 yards later, he's in the end zone. I'm like, what just happened here? Get the sideline. Cromer's like, yeah, he just made it happen. He's Jimbo. I was like, yep, makes sense.
I know there was 2 free runners in the hole there, and he takes it to the house. Like it should have been potentially a loss.
It should have been a loss for you. Yeah.
And he takes it to the house. When you look back on the 2025 season, is there a specific game or moment that's going to stand out to you when you look back at this season many years from now, and it might be the final playoff game? So outside of, coming off the field at Denver, is there a specific moment or game that's going to stand out to you?
It could go all the way back to week 1, that Baltimore game. Yeah. I've just seen the fight in the team. Like, that was just so fun to be a part of, because everyone counted us out. I think we had, a 1% chance of winning in the fourth quarter with just a couple minutes left. And everyone, just the resilience of the team just really just showed the true greediness that we had this year. I think that would be the most memorable game of the year.
Yeah, we started the season off with a bang. That was a hell of a game to call.
Yeah.
You're sitting up there in the booth, and we're trying to say, like, even if we don't get this one, the Bills are going to be fine. These are 2 good teams. And then all of a sudden it starts going back into actually calling the game and getting back into it. That was truly a special one. I remember the Ed Oliver forced fumble from that game.
That changed everything.
Everything flips. If Derrick Henry holds onto that ball, it's just going to be longer fields, probably run out of time, not have enough time to be able to come back, even though the offense was catching fire. That Ed Oliver forces that fumble, comes out after the game that he subbed. He wasn't even supposed to be in on that series based.
No, he subbed himself in.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I wish he could have stayed healthy all season long, but it is what it is. You can play that.
And that's part of the game.
No doubt. You can play that what if game all day long. All right. So you've been in this situation before where you've hit free agency. That's how the Bills were able to bring you in. Obviously, everybody that follows this organization would love to have you back and this entire O-line back, but just realistically, year over year, there's going to be turnover. What's it like heading into an offseason where you're a pending free agent?
It's weird just because you don't know what's going to happen, like the great unknown you're looking into. But at the same time, there's excitement because you don't know what you're really walking into. So I think it's going to be whatever the next chapter holds. I think it's going to be a great one for me and my family. I hope it's here in Buffalo, but at the end of the day, it's a business and you just don't know.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, I'm hoping and praying you'll be back, but regardless, you got a big fan of me for the rest of your career, no matter where you're playing.
Appreciate that.
For sure. We're going to get to the rapid fire questions brought to you by Dano Seasoning. Number 1, looking back, not even necessarily if you played against them, maybe it's someone you saw on film, but who would you say is the toughest nose guard in the NFL to go against right now?
I would say nose tackle from New England, Tonga, by far. Like the way he's so big, but he could still move, but he's also just a very smart player. So like, you know how it is. A lot of D linemen actually don't watch film.
Yeah.
I know that might surprise a lot of fans, but you know how it is. Like a lot of them don't watch film, but you could tell like he studies the game a lot. Like his hand places is almost always perfect. And then when he gets both hands on you, you're just going for a ride. And I think he's one of the most criminally underrated players in this entire league.
Yeah, a lot of times nose guards aren't getting a ton of stats, so they don't get propped up. I remember bragging on Damon Harrison from the Jets early in his career, and people are like, he doesn't get a whole lot of production, this and that. Well, then he becomes the highest paid nose guard in the league, and
yeah, exactly.
Everybody saw it eventually. He just didn't have the stats early on, and he was
so many people just look in the stats for that, and it's like, no, like this guy's a true player in that defense. Like, take my word for it. I'm the one fighting him.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told you this story, but so Rex comes over from the Jets. Damon Harrison was on their practice squad. We open up the season, or our second game of the season's against the Jets, and Rex Ryan was like, man, this guy wasn't great on our practice squad last year, this and that. You're going to crush him. About 2 series in, I come to the sideline. I'm like, Rex, were you messing with me? Like, this dude's an absolute load. He's got some quickness. Like you said, he's smart. Like, he's watching running backs, alignments, our tendencies. He should be stepping into me, stepping out when we're running outside zone. I'm like, Rex, this dude's legit. He watched the film, and the next day he came up, he goes, man, that dude's gotten really good. I'm like, well, thanks, Rex.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up now.
Yeah, I had my guard down a little bit at the start of that.
Yeah, and the worst part about that, it's early in season. You have no film to watch him, so he's watching all the film on you. You got nothing.
I know it. All right, this is the first year for the Protector of the Year. Deion Dawkins helped get this award in place. It goes to the offensive lineman that the voters felt like was the best offensive lineman in the year for the season. For this first year of the Protector of the Year, if you had a vote, who would you vote for?
Easily Joe Thuney, Chicago. Easily. Just watching him play, like I feel like every year, like he gets better and better. It's so impressive because he's not a very big guy, but just he's so technical. It's so fun to watch him.
Yeah. All right. I like that choice. A lot of people are likely going to go with one of these highly paid tackles, and Joe Thuney's made plenty of money in his career as well, coming over from New England to Kansas City, now to Chicago. But I like that choice. All right. Did you watch the games last weekend?
I actually did not.
Yeah, no. I was going to say. No.
I took a complete just step away like this past week, just turned off all social media, got away from anything in all football.
Yeah, I do not blame you. There was a couple good games. There. Mm-hmm. We got, okay, so last one. We got the Super Bowl coming up. Bills didn't play Seahawks this year. I don't know how much you got to see them. You're obviously very familiar with the Patriots. Do you have a prediction on who wins the Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the Patriots?
I think it's going to be the Seahawks. I just watched them all year. I think it's going to be a great game first most, but like I think just the way they're just rolling right now, I think it's going to be hard to stop them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like them to win it, and I sure as hell don't want to see New England win it. So,
fair enough. Yeah.
So I'll be pulling for the Seahawks in that one, brother. I can't thank you enough for your time. Good luck with free agency. I'm pulling for you to be back with the Bills, but I'm also pulling for you to get paid, as you definitely should be. So thanks again. Glad you came out of the season healthy, already back to work. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for having me, Eric. Appreciate you.